My name is Deb Cupp. I'm the president of Microsoft Americas. And first of all, can I just say, this is the coolest venue I have ever seen. This is amazing. I think this might be my first outdoor speaking engagement, which is very cool. I'm super psyched the sun went down a little bit. That helps. But really, this summit, what a testament to the power of community. What a testament to showing up as who you are, loving who you want, doing what you want, looking like you want. I love everything about it. So thank you for having me. I am super, super thrilled to be here. So a little bit of a switch from what you all have been hearing. I know we've been focusing on a lot of things around culture. I imagine you will be super surprised as to what I'm going to be talking about. Session title, as you may have seen it, was about going from hype to habit, and we're going to be focusing 15 minutes about AI. But the goal of today's session is actually to get real. So I want to spend some time talking about how we're embedding AI in our lives as individuals, as our consumers, as customers, and really, how does that work? What are our customers doing? How do we make it effective for them, and where are we seeing great successes? So we'll get into some real stories. I'll tell you a couple stories about Microsoft, and then we'll close it out. So this isn't a surprise. I know everybody knows we are in this incredible journey, this new era of AI. I think one of the most exciting eras. We're super lucky to be a part of this. I think it's amazing what we've seen in terms of impact to individuals, impact to customers, impact to organizations, governments, et cetera. And it's not a fad. So for those who think, like, I'm gonna ride this thing out, it's not really gonna land, it's landing. IDC did a report last month that talked about spend for AI reaching upwards of $632 billion by 2028, which is a 29% CAGR. It's a lot of money people are going to be spending in this space, so it's super important that we figure out how to do it really well. So we're just scratching the surface. 18 months ago, this was barely a whisper. We're in this environment where AI is everywhere, and hopefully what I'll do today is bring it to reality for some of you. I want to spend a minute talking about some of the cool things that we're seeing. So right now, we're seeing a lot more complex systems moving into production. We're seeing a lot more areas of multiple models coming together. And that's been pretty interesting to see how it works together. If you look at this slide, what I think is super cool about this is we use GPT-4 to just ask for basically a description to create the first two images. Then we made a detailed description of what a product could look like if you took the first two images to create a third images. We took that and input it into DALL-E 3 to convert it into an image generation. So it's just super interesting, the fun you can have. Literally, if you have Copilot on your phone, on your device, you can ask it all sorts of things. It can generate images, it can do all sorts of interesting things to create an imagination that perhaps you may not have yourself or you'd like to see. So I encourage people to give it a try. Using multiple models are something we're seeing lots more of. I also want to make a quick comment about what OpenAI announced, a new AI model called Sora, earlier this year. This is still being tested. It is not generally released, but it's... Mike's dead. Oh, it's back. It's fascinating to me to see how you can create an AI-generated full motion video with a simple written prompt. A full motion video with a single written prompt. So let's try. So if we say, create a photorealistic close-up video of two pirate ships battling each other as they sail inside a cup of coffee, what might that look like? And this is what the prompt creates. So again, just this incredible potential to create images, videos, all sorts of things you couldn't have imagined 2 years ago, creates the potential before us. So, disclaimer again, Sora is not yet generally available, so you will see that coming, I don't know when, maybe soon, but it's super cool to look at. Now, I actually promised you habit, not hype. I was just giving you a little bit of hype because it's fun, but I am going to get into a little bit of habit. So what happens when customers are like, I want to do this thing, everybody's talking about AI, I should launch into that? The first question we get is, how do we get started? So here's the #1 piece of feedback. Don't just get started because it's hype. You get started because you're trying to do something that's aligned with your business strategy. It's that simple. You have to ask the question, what are your core priorities? What are you actually trying to do? Are you trying to improve an employee experience? Are you trying to generate more revenue? Are you in the process of operational efficiency? What is it that you're trying to accomplish? Let that guide the decisions you make around use cases that you want to drive with AI. So at Microsoft, we thought about this, like, how do we do this in a way that we can organize customers' thoughts? So we tried to make it really simple, and we broke it down into really simply 4 pillars. And the 4 pillars are just this. Are you going to enrich an employee experience? And this is about perhaps boosting employee productivity, giving better well-being, a better experience. Who exactly do you want to enable and why? You're not necessarily going to enable everybody. Maybe some companies will, but why and who? We also talk about, are you trying to reshape a business process? Is there a business process that has the opportunity to be optimized in some way? Think of the concepts of supply chain. We see this a lot in manufacturing. Perhaps you're trying to reinvent a customer experience. We see this a lot in retail. It's actually pretty fun. This is about creating a different experience that you can have with your customer. You have an opportunity to get stickier, to have better joy in the experience, and hopefully have a customer that continues to return. You also might be trying to bend the curve on innovation. And this is leapfrogging. This is there something you're doing with AI that can allow you to compete in a differentiated way or enter a market perhaps you haven't been before? So let me give you a couple of examples to bring this to life. Khan Academy. I'm sure many of you have heard of Khan Academy. Khan Academy is actually a nonprofit online educational organization. They're amazing, by the way. Free education to anyone, anywhere. They created AI-powered teaching assistants. Super simple. They do actual lesson plans. So teachers save 5 hours. That's 5 more hours they can spend with a student. It's an awesome example of improving and enriching an employee experience. Siemens is a good example of reshaping a business process. I like this one. This is, think of your factory worker, you're on a floor, something breaks. We built an industrial co-pilot with Siemens, and the idea is you can talk to, through natural language, a factory worker can actually use natural language to say something is wrong into the co-pilot. That can then either provide them solutions or can actually route to create a work order with their engineering teams. So again, it creates a better experience, but it also is simplifying a business process that was really broken. A good example, I think, and you can all try this, of a reinventing customer experience is Walmart's app. So Walmart went through the process of actually saying, how do I make sure that I am having a conversational experience and I'm creating an interactive experience as well that creates a better outcome for our consumer? So pretend you're a parent, you have a child who loves unicorns, and you want to have a unicorn birthday party. So instead of having to go through and figure out all the things you need for a birthday party, you can simply write a prompt, help me plan a unicorn-themed birthday party for my daughter, and then they will, again, surface everything related that you would need for a birthday party: hats, streamers, cups, plates, whatever that might be. So it's a cool way, again, both for Walmart to get an opportunity to sell more things, but for customers to have a really cool experience and get a better outcome themselves. We think about this instead of kind of scroll searching, goal searching, and it's a good way to get a good outcome for both. Finally, Canary is a good example of bending the curve on innovation, and they're a health technology company. Some of you may have heard of them, and they're tapping into the power of AI with machine learning. They've developed a proprietary vocal biomarker, and the idea is that when a patient is talking to a doctor, the biomarker can reason as to whether they are anxious, whether they see any cognitive impairment, fatigue. It's an incredible resource for physicians and nurses to have a better experience and a better outcome for their patients. So there's just amazing examples everywhere of the things that we can do AI. So let me tell you about Microsoft. Our main focus area at Microsoft was around our customer support centers. We do 1 billion cases annually. We talk to 1 billion consumers a year across all the products of Microsoft. You can imagine, if we can do that more efficiently, that's a very good thing. So we're helping customers in a materially different way. And I'll give you a couple examples. 12% reduction in average handle time customers. 20% reduction of missed routes of cases. So if anyone's ever called a call center, how annoying is it when you get routed to the wrong place? 20% less of those, that's a pretty good thing. We're serving more customers, so we have 9% increase in the amount that each agent can actually handle in a day, and 31% boost in first call resolutions. That is remarkable in terms of not only the experience for the agent, who's much happier, and we know that because we do employee surveys, and of course for the customer, who moves on with the resolution more quickly. So one small example, that's in a year's time. We're actually in phase 2. I anticipate this thing will continue on. We're going to see a lot more benefit through that process. So a lot of people ask how I use Copilot, so I'll just tell you kind of my world in AI. We use what we call Microsoft 365 Copilot. I can use that both on a web version, which think of public data, and I use that to find out information about customers that I'm going to visit, anything public that I want to have information on quickly. And then I have an internal version that is specific to Microsoft. And so I went to Nashville last week on business. I came back and I said, just this very simple prompt. I was out last week on travel. Oh, sorry, went out. It's back. Please let me know. New mic? Could I keep trying? I'm going to try. Nope. Yep. Nope. We're going to swap.
Sorry. Try to hold it up here.
Sorry about that. So I just said, tell me what action items have been assigned to me in the last week. And it just summarizes what's been assigned to me. So another interesting example, I do a lot of town halls, internal speaking engagements, recordings. You can't be everywhere all the time. I also don't speak every language. So the other thought we had was, what if we created an avatar of me? That avatar speaks in native languages for my employees in places, speaks Portuguese, French, Spanish, etc. Might work, I don't know, take a look.
Bienvenue à notre Assemblée générale. J'espère que tout le monde a passé un merveilleux été. J'étais reconnaissante d'avoir un peu de temps libre et cela m'a permis de réfléchir à certaines choses. En premier lieu, j'ai redécouvert le plaisir de ne pas avoir d'horaire. C'est vrai ce qu'on dit, les meilleures idées viennent quand on ne se précipite pas. Je me suis sentie plus inspirée que jamais. Em segundo lugar, eu me lembrei do quanto eu valorizo minhas conexões e de como estou ligada às minhas equipes e ao meu pessoal. Até senti saudade das nossas interações diárias. A comunidade é realmente muito importante. Finalmente, eu fiquei muito tempo caminhando e andando de bicicleta. Isto serviu para me lembrar do quanto me movimentar também me capacita, tanto mental quanto fisicamente.
Don't ask me what that was. I don't speak those languages, but that's pretty cool, right? So, we're thinking about different ways to use, again, safely, the technology internally for me at Microsoft. So I want to go to just one last thing before I wrap it up, and that's customers saying, how do I know if I'm ready to go do this? What does it look like for me to get value out of AI? What are drivers for operational success? So I'm going to run through these really quickly. The first one is the obvious one. What's your business strategy? You got to align that first. If you don't know how you can support your goals with AI, then I would suggest stop there, back up, and go figure out what that alignment might be. The next is technology and data strategies. For some reason, people think you have this magic AI switch. You just flip it, and suddenly it works. Doesn't work that way. You need a really good data and infrastructure strategy to fuel this capability. So that's one thing that we talk to customers a lot about. Are they actually in a space of technical readiness to go do these things? AI strategy and experiences. What is your strategy specific to AI? Do you create repeatable processes? Are there ways that you want to surface and create sustainable results? And what does that look like is super important. What does that process look like so you can share that with your employees and help people understand exactly what that might be? Then you have organization and culture. This one's super interesting. So is it top down, we're going to go do AI? Is it bottom up? We have a lot of cool use cases. Is it a combination of both? We would argue you want it to be a combination of all things, but you need that strategy from the start to figure out how to go execute against it. And then finally, AI governance. This is everything. This is process. This is controls. This is security. This is ethics. This is the single most important thing that we can talk about as we talk to our customers, as we talk as humans about AI, is that we're doing it right, that we're monitoring ourselves, that we're making our absolute best effort to embark upon this journey as safely as possible. So finally, I am going to wrap, and with my last comments here, I just hope you learned something. So I hope there's something in there that was interesting and that you could take away from. I think it's incredible what can happen when you think about people the planet, individuals. And I think the coolest thing about AI is that it's democratized technology. And what do I mean by that? I mean that everybody can access it in ways that they don't even realize. So my mom is a diabetic. And for those of you, if anyone knows anything about diabetes, you might have heard of diabetic retinopathy, which is when you have a more likely chance to lose your eyesight. So if you go to the ophthalmologist and you check your eyes, you have a pretty good chance of being okay. You can flag it early. But there's 225,000 ophthalmologists in the world, and there's 8 billion people. So obviously not everybody has access to an ophthalmologist. We partnered with a very cool partner who went through a process of building an AI-based app. It's super simple. It's a camera that can take a picture of your eye and basically let you know whether you are at risk or not. So it gives this opportunity for people to have health care early, flag a condition early so they can potentially avoid a very catastrophic outcome. So it's just one awesome example of what that democratization looks like. One of the things that I love about that is it's about empowerment. And at Microsoft, what we think about is empowerment every single day, to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more.